everyone, this is Elaine Oyang at Elaine Oyang Yoga Therapy. I decided to do a little video vlog thing for you this month or this week. And I want to share a little bit more about the content of my past workshop that I just did on February 2nd on Saturday. The title of the workshop was The Art and Science of Rejuvenation. And we had some great discussions within the workshop, and everyone present was very interested in how to set up their lifestyle so that they can get a little bit more rejuvenation in their day-to-day life amidst the stressors and other challenges and overwhelm that they get in their day-to-day life. And a big topic that I find very important, but unfortunately we didn't get the time to talk too much about, is sleep. Now, for a long time, sleep has been kind of underestimated and pushed out to the side when it comes to overall health and overall well-being. And only recently, in the past few years, has sleep become more of a priority and interest of research amongst neuroscientists, psychologists, and other researchers in the medical field. If you're interested, one very prominent leading researcher is Matthew Walker. He's a professor of, I think, neuroscience or psychology at UC Berkeley. He has some really great talks online that you can find on YouTube. You can also find his book called Why We Sleep on Amazon or anywhere you get your books. So how is sleep so important in terms of our overall health and well-being? Well, first of all, we all know the sensations and the feeling we get when we don't get enough sleep, right? We feel a little groggy, we might get brain fog, we feel sluggish and non-motivated. We can't focus, we just don't react or think as fast as we can. These are all kind of short-term, immediate effects that you feel the day after you had a very bad sleep. Long-term wise, sleep deprivation can cause a decrease in immune system, increase in your stress hormones, also called cortisol, and over time can also lead to increased blood pressure, increased blood sugar within your in your blood vessels, and increase in your hunger level. So these are all kind of hormonal imbalances and your body's natural reaction to stress. And not getting enough sleep definitely is a form of stress to your physical body and also your mental body. So cognitively, how sleep deprivation affects you cognitively is that during deep sleep, they actually find that the cerebral spinal fluid bathes your whole head and clears your head of any toxins that you've accumulated during the day. Now, toxins is not a woo-woo thing that you hear nowadays. You know, your body does have metabolic wastes as their byproduct just by going through the daily process of digesting food, of creating energy for your brain, of creating energy for your body. So it's not, it's not just a vague toxin. It is an actual byproduct from the processing through your body that our body doesn't need and with accumulation can become toxic. So at night, your fluid, the cerebral spinal fluid, clears these toxins in your brain, and there are these sticky proteins that recent years they found a bigger accumulation of, definitely postpartum, within Alzheimer's and Parkinson's patients. So postpartum, when they dissect their brain, they find a bigger accumulation of these sticky proteins. So now they're hypothesizing that people who have been long-term chronically sleep deprived will have more predisposition towards neurodegenerative diseases. So they're still doing the research because any good scientist would know that correlation is not always causation, and so they need to definitely have a better research premise set up. But this is the beginning of it. I think it's very fascinating. In fact, the WHO, the World Health Organization, have recently declared shift work as a carcinogen as well. Shift work meaning if you have shifts in the middle of the night, graveyard shifts, or shift work that doesn't allow you to have a normal schedule. You might go into work at 11 p.m. one day and then maybe 5 a.m. the next day, or maybe you just have night shifts all the time. And they found that it's a known carcinogen, meaning that it has the potential to lead to cancer. And I will need to look this up more, but I believe it has something to do with suppressed immune system from lack of sleep and the increase for viral infections and decrease in your body to protect your chromosomes at a cellular level. Every time your body is hit with stress, there's actually some cellular damage, and if there's too much cellular damage, more than the body can handle, then that's when sometimes things go awry. You cannot repair as well, and things like accumulation of excess cells arise. Excess cells arise that causes tumors or cancers. So anyway, going back to sleep. Sleep itself is both a rejuvenating and a detoxifying process for both the body and the brain. During sleep, it's not that we just don't do anything. For a long time we thought, oh, who has time for sleep? It's a waste of time. I can do better things with my time while I sleep. So that's why it's been like kind of shoved into the back corners of everything. And we also have this culture of I'll sleep when I die, or I need to work very hard, and sleep just becomes less of a priority in overall health. So during sleep, like I was saying, the brain is actually getting detoxed from the cerebrospinal fluid and also rejuvenated, because during that time, you're actually you're converting short-term memory to long-term memory. You are allowing your body to repair and replenish its resources. This is the only time during our 24-hour day where we're not constantly trying to do something, not constantly trying to achieve something, and probably the rare occasion where we're not feeling stressed out if you are in deep sleep state. Okay, so that's where the rejuvenation comes in. So sleep essentially is, now that we know, is way more important than we initially think. And it's not just diet and exercise anymore. Sleep is up there, and if not a much bigger pillar for your overall health and overall well-being. And in going into more of the Eastern philosophy and Eastern sciences of things briefly here, in Ayurveda and in yoga traditions, rest and sleep have always been a big component. They've all really emphasized the importance of rest and sleep in rebuilding the body and replenishing the body's resources. And according to your body type, body constitution, Ayurveda also suggests what time frames of sleep and how much sleep you should get. And if you have questions about that, I am happy to give you some resources where you can determine what your constitution is and how much sleep you should get. But from the Western perspective, 7 to 9 hours. Okay, 7 to 9 hours. That's the ideal time. And again, it varies from person to person. If you're the person who says, oh, I can do just fine by 6 hours, and I've been doing been doing 6 hours and getting on by 5 for years and decades. Well, think again, because yes, there is a very small and rare percentage of people in the world that can get by with 4 to 5 hours of sleep. Genetically, they have the capability of just really getting maximum amount of deep sleep. Okay. And that's very rare. I think it's a single digit percentage, like 1 to 2% or something. And sometimes what happens also is that as you become chronically sleep deprived, you don't know what it is like to function at your optimal level. So maybe you've been just living your days at 50% of your optimal level for so long that that becomes the norm. Okay, so I do hear a lot of people say, oh yeah, 6 hours, 5 hours, I feel fine, just need a little coffee. But they might not know they're functioning suboptimally. Okay, and until they get a week, 2 weeks, depending on how much they need, how sleep deprived they are, they won't know what it really is like to function at optimal level. So that's it for me today. Over the course of the next few weeks, I do want to share a little bit more content that I we discussed in the Art and Science of Rejuvenation workshop. If you have particular questions about rejuvenation of the body or mind, or any questions about how to set up your yoga practice to rejuvenate the body in general, just let me know. You can reply with this email or send me an email at oyang, that's oyang, .elaine, elaine, @gmail.com. You can also find me on my website, elaineyoga.com. Okay. For those on Instagram, you can find my handle at Elaine_yoga therapy. And that's where I post a lot, frequent content of daily rejuvenating practices. It could be some things that I do during my days that help keep me grounded and calm. So if you want a bit more of that frequent inspirations and frequent ideas, you can also follow me there. Okay, have a great rest of your week. Sleep well, and I'll see you next time.